lot of work to do. There's no question. A lot of little things. Um, but as I said, we've got 8 new players out there, and some of them, frankly, get nervous. I mean, Jordan ended up shooting the ball well, but he was struggling early, and he shot it very well in practice. And Sam, there's no way Sam would ever go 1 for 7 in the line. He's a much better shooter than that. So, we didn't play anybody more than 20 minutes. If you looked at the numbers of Rich and David, they were 11 and 9, 11 and 8, 10 and 8, something like that. If they'd have played minutes, they would have been a different deal. But the objective of this is to look at some guys, get some guys some experience and the lights on, and see how they're going to react. Played 14 guys, with decent minutes. So the next time we should be better. The freshmen are going to get better as they get experienced with it. I think one of the biggest things is going to be adjusting to how the officials are going to call a game based on a mandate, that they've got with the hand checks. And I think that's going to be really difficult for everybody. I think the officials and the players are going to have to figure out how to do that. And that's what's been mandated. So I think it's going to be difficult. We just got to figure it out. We got to know what to do and how to do it. And people probably going to have a different interpretation as we move along. And so I think it's going to be a little painful early on for everybody, because they've clearly been told that, the hand checks, anything with contact is to be called. So we're going to have to wait and see how that goes.
Are you okay with the rules?
Well, I don't have much of a say-so. They're trying to, freedom of movement is what they're after, so that you're not impeding people's progress so they can make a cut through the lane. But I didn't see much of that called as much as it was on the ball trying to defend a guy. There was 2 or 3 times, and I'm not faulting, what their interpretation is, but you want to wonder, well, I just got to get out of the way. I can't, defend. They're clearly after the hands, and that's something we've emphasized, and that's something we're going to have to figure out. Everybody's going to have to figure out. Just, you got to get your hands off. And that's okay, but, where you need to be, how you move your feet, it's just going to take some learning. I think it's going to be learning. We've had the scrimmage and now this, and I think the officials are kind of, uncertain as well.
When they make these new points of emphasis, isn't it often the case that early on you just go overboard calling it, and then later you don't see it?
I think so. I think they're trying to figure out, like anything else. I mean, a good official is going to try to figure it out, and one that's not quite as experienced might have a hard time differentiating. And it's a learning process for everybody. That's the thing. But like I said, we haven't played anybody more than 20 minutes basically, and what you're not really after the idea of, well, did you win or did you not win. You're after trying to play the game right and get out where guys are playing at game speed, tiring faster, adjusting to the tempo, adjusting to the other team, adjusting to the way the game's called. All the things that has to happen. And as I say, we've got 8 guys that have not played basketball that played tonight, and so all of those people have a different learning curve, and that's where we got to bring them up to snuff as quick as we can. The freshman group is going to be a pretty good group, but there's going to be growing pains.
What are your expectations for that group of 5, I believe? What the major contributors this season?
Some of them are going to have to be. I don't think there's any question that some of them are going to have to be major minutes guys or major contributors as time goes on. Probably as we're looking at shooting, guys that can shoot the ball, certainly a couple of those kids are going to be better, some of our better shooters, but we also know they're going to make mistakes defensively that a veteran kid might not make. So we expect that. We're short big right now. Cameron can come in some. If there's another real big guy that he could probably play against, but he's going to have a hard time chasing smaller players around, and we knew that.
Is Jordan, can he be a streaky shooter, get hot like he did in the second half?
He's been our best shooter in practice. He's been our the one guy that has consistently shot the ball game in, game out. It's almost just like he's, you know, a natural scorer. He doesn't really have a conscience. He missed a couple early, and it almost kind of surprises you a little bit. But once he made the first one, it was just, it felt like he'd make every one. And Jabari's still, you know, getting his feet wet and feeling his way a little bit, but he's certainly a spectacular, you know, athlete that can ultimately be really good and make plays.
Mike, could you talk a little bit about Jordan using screens, because it seems like he really comes off screens really
Well,
well.
he's just, gun's always loaded with Jordan. I mean, he's ready to shoot it when he catches it. He knows he's been a scorer. He's been a guy that can really shoot the ball. And, you know, in our offense, as many screens as we said, he'll thrive because he's ready to shoot. He knows how to get himself square with his shoulders to the basket to shoot it. And that's one thing that others are still trying to figure out. Coming away from the basket is not natural for a lot of kids that maybe haven't done much of that. But he just knows how to get his shoulders square and shoot the ball.
It must be really nice to have, quality to have for a freshman coming in and having that ability.
Well, different freshmen have different things that they bring to the table. Obviously, they're all physically gifted, or they wouldn't be here. And that's certainly the case with all of our young players. But they all come out in different systems and have been asked to do different things before. And some teams play all pressure, and they never have to get off and toward and be in the right, you know, position, and so they come in and all that's new to them. Others, you know, there's a lot of just running and throwing lobs and dunking and all that kind of stuff, because people typically don't play great defense in a lot of the stuff that they play in. So there'll be a learning curve, but you're starting with the starting point that some of these kids are. You've got a real chance to really be good.
Like when you subbed out at the 4 or 5 and you went smaller, how did you take that away from you?
Well, I took Richard out and went with Roger, or did I go?
Yeah, well, with Roger first and you
Krecklow, I think first. I think I moved Krecklow down. Well, that's the way we're going to have to play, because we don't have a choice. I mean, if I'm going to get my best, you know, theoretically best players on the floor, I'm going to have to go that direction. As I say, the only really other big guys I have are Cameron, who's going to take Cameron time like it would anybody his age, his size, and CB, whose knees are just not ready yet. So I have to go with Roger or Krecklow to the 4. I mean, I might be able to play another wing and play Tyrone Wallace, frankly. I mean, he's probably a quarter-inch smaller than some of those kids, but Roger's got a 7'1" wingspan, which helps him with some things. But he's relatively inexperienced, and so a lot of the things that he's trying to do don't come naturally to him. Once he gets more comfortable and more aggressive and gets after balls, he can do that.
Do you have any sense of at all how deep your bench will be when you get going?
You know, Powers played well, and that's the thing with Jeff, is that he's, you know, he understands. He's been here. He's paid attention to what he's supposed to do, and he's generally going to be in the right spot. And I wouldn't rule Jeff out from those things. Jeff typically makes shots, and one of the things that we're seemingly deal with a little bit is making shots. And Jeff has been a guy that's done a pretty good job with that. So, you know, I don't know. I think in a close game, you know, everything on the line game, you got to win type thing, you're probably 9, 10, and depending on circumstances, maybe 11. But it might be for a different reason that you go with a guy as compared to one guy versus the other. I mean, it's not going to be a steady diet of 11 guys.
Still, it's more than you've had, right?
Yeah, it's on the perimeter for sure. I mean, there's things that those kids bring to the table that we need to have from them, and I'd like for us to play harder when we're on the floor, knowing I don't have to play 38 minutes, so I can play harder when I'm in there, and knowing I can have a guy come in and give me a blow or maybe give us something else. So it's just kind of a work in progress.
Jordan mentioned that this team, he feels like his teammates don't really have the mentality where they kind of ease into a game. They come out and hit the floor running. Is obviously that would be a bit of a departure from certain times last year. Is that your impression?
Well, what I'm challenging them to do is play hard. I mean, I'm trying to, I think that as a group, the freshmen have kind of a no baggage approach. They don't really have any, they just kind of play. But I'm trying to say to them that we've got to have a standard for how we play the game, and that's just how you play. And there'll be times when we play as hard as we can and don't win. But you know, if we're playing some games that we can win and we play as hard, then that's how we should do it. We can't pick and choose when we want to play hard. And I think we're a ways away from that mentality, but that's what we're trying to do is come in with that kind of thought process in mind.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.